President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday met with Prince and Princess of Wales at Buckingham Palace for a private meeting highlighting the enduring and cherished relationship between Nigeria and the United Kingdom. Prince William and Catherine shared ideas for innovative approaches to climate financing and funding, expressing mutual interest in strengthening partnerships by harnessing Nigeria's leadership position in Africa and the Commonwealth.
Thank you for the friendship and the collaboration with your governor.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel where the intrigue of global diplomacy and royal charm always captures the spotlight. Today, we're diving into a moment that has diplomats buzzing, cultural bridges strengthening, and international relations taking an unexpected turn toward warmth. What really unfolded when Princess Catherine extended her hand to Nigerian President Bola Tinubu at that glittering State Gala, this single encounter has sparked whispers of a seismic shift in UK-Nigeria ties, ignited by one genuine smile. But don't be mistaken, this is not just about polite gestures. It's a deeper story of cultural respect, symbolic actions, and a partnership poised to reshape the economic and social dialogue between two nations. Before we get into this captivating tale, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, so you never miss out on the biggest royal and international updates. Now, let's rewind to the foundations of this evolving relationship to understand how it all led to that unforgettable night to truly capture the magic of that gala evening. We need to trace the roots of UK-Nigeria relations. This is a bond forged through history, trade, and shared challenges. Nigeria, Africa's most populous nation and a powerhouse of culture and energy, has long been a crucial partner for the United Kingdom. That shifted into Commonwealth camaraderie to modern-day collaborations on security and development. In fact, just last year, in 2024, the two countries signed a strategic partnership aimed at boosting economic growth and tackling security threats. As highlighted in official communiques, sources inside the Foreign Office describe a relationship grounded in mutual respect, the UK viewing Nigeria as a gateway to African markets, while Nigeria sees Britain as a trusted ally on the global stage. But amid all the formalities, one key element was missing: the human touch. And that's where the royals step in. Known for their ability to transform stiff diplomacy into heartfelt connection, they embody the UK's soft power. Princess Catherine, celebrated for her grace, poise, and cultural curiosity, has long been the face of this charm offensive. Recall her visits to Commonwealth nations, where she immerses herself in local traditions. Those weren't accidents, they were carefully prepared moments of connection. So when Nigerian President Bola Tinubu, an experienced leader with ambitious economic reforms, visited London in early 2025 for high-level talks, the stage was set for something beyond politics. This was the perfect backdrop for a gala that would blend pomp with personal warmth. Insiders reveal Catherine prepared meticulously for the evening, studying Nigerian customs so every gesture would carry meaning. This wasn't just another palace banquet. It was an opportunity to humanize diplomacy and show that respect and empathy are the real foundations of lasting partnerships. Picture it, the grand halls of Buckingham Palace glowing under crystal chandeliers, long tables adorned with dishes that fused British classics with Nigerian favorites. Yes, jollof rice sat proudly alongside roast beef. It was mid-2025, during Tinubu's official state visitor trip, heavy with agenda items ranging from trade deals to climate initiatives. The gala, hosted by King Charles, drew dignitaries, business leaders, and cultural icons from both nations. But all eyes fell on Princess Catherine, radiant in a gown subtly inspired by Nigerian textiles. Its patterns a respectful nod to Yoruba design. President Tinubu, charismatic and composed, entered with his delegation, ready to tackle discussions, from energy partnerships to youth empowerment. The air was charged with anticipation. Would this simply be another ceremonial event or something truly historic? And then came the moment that turned the gala into a defining diplomatic memory. As President Tinubu approached the royal line, Princess Catherine stepped forward, her smile lighting up the room. But she didn't stop at the usual greetings. Instead, drawing from her careful preparation, she greeted him in Yoruba, one of Nigeria's most spoken and vibrant languages. "Asan, Mr. President," she said warmly. "Good afternoon." her pronunciation polished and sincere. The room froze in stunned silence, and then erupted in applause. President Tinubu's face broke into a wide grin, his eyes filled with delighted surprise. He responded with equal warmth, even sharing a Yoruba proverb about unity, an exchange that instantly went viral. Why Yoruba? Because Catherine's team had discovered Tinubu's Lagos roots deeply tied to Yoruba heritage. It wasn't staged for cameras, it was a genuine bridge-building gesture. And within minutes, hashtags like #RoyalYoruba trended worldwide. Diplomatic experts were quick to weigh in. A Chatham House analyst remarked that such small human gestures cut through bureaucracy and turn abstract policies into personal connections. In a world often dominated by tense negotiations, Catherine's simple phrase symbolized deep respect. But the night's story didn't end there. During the mingling, President Tinubu presented Catherine with a humble but powerful gift, a beaded bracelet crafted by artisans in Lagos. Far from flashy diamonds, it was woven with colors symbolizing peace, prosperity, and unity in Yoruba culture. "This is from the heart of Nigeria," he told her, according to witnesses. Catherine's eyes sparkled as she slipped it onto her wrist, admiring its craftsmanship. She thanked him sincerely, calling it a beautiful token of friendship. The moment was intimate, but its meaning immense. Beads in Nigerian culture carry stories, identity, and unity. Catherine's public acceptance of the gift, wearing it proudly in the middle of a glittering palace, sent a message that resonated louder than any speech. Photographers captured the exchange, and soon those images spread globally. A more down-to-earth human diplomacy. Whispers from Palisades suggest that this very moment softened the tone of the entire visit. Negotiations afterward reportedly carried a sense of enthusiasm and collaboration that no policy paper could have achieved. It wasn't about the bracelet's value, it was about the message. Small acts can forge great bonds, and Catherine's smile during that exchange became the catalyst that transformed an ordinary gala into a historic turning point in the days following. Diplomatic channels buzzed with renewed momentum. Talks on trade, climate, and security deepened. Officials from both London and Abuja privately admitted that the human connection at the gala had unlocked a new level of trust, and it all started with a smile, a greeting in Yoruba, and a bracelet that carried the heart of Nigeria into Buckingham Palace. Nigeria's economy has been rising steadily, recording over 12% growth in recent quarters, according to official fact sheets. Against this backdrop, Princess Catherine's warmth did more than charm, it encouraged genuine cultural exchanges, including joint initiatives on education and women's empowerment, causes that have always been close to her heart. Tinubu's delegation openly admitted that her gesture made them feel truly valued, creating space for frank conversations on pressing issues like climate change, corruption, and youth unemployment. 1. Senior source described it as a thunderclap of positivity, a spark of humanity that broke through barriers policy alone could never dissolve. Soon, the bracelet she received that night became more than a gift. It evolved into a symbol, repeatedly highlighted in media narratives as proof that royalty can amplify diplomacy in unique ways. Social media platforms buzzed with stories of cross-cultural friendships as users in both the UK and Nigeria shared personal reflections inspired by the exchange. But this wasn't just an online trend. It translated into real initiatives, expanded UK aid for Nigerian tech startups, stronger anti-corruption collaborations, and an elevated platform for Nigerian youth voices. Catherine's smile didn't just light up a ballroom, it illuminated a path forward, proving that empathy, when combined with leadership, can redefine the future of international relations. But let's dig deeper. This gala encounter between Princess Catherine and President Bola Tinubu wasn't only about diplomatic gestures. It peeled back the layers of personal narratives intertwined with national aspirations at its heart. It showcased two figures who, despite their very different worlds, shared a commitment to resilience and bridge-building. Princess Catherine, long admired as a global advocate for understanding, has built her public persona on causes that transcend borders. From her mental health campaigns with Heads Together to her early childhood projects through the Royal Foundation. Her initiatives often draw inspiration from diverse cultures, so ways rooted in empathy and community, Palace insiders confirmed that her Yoruba greeting that night was not spontaneous. Catherine had spent weeks practicing with expert linguistic advisors, familiar with West African dialects. She wanted her words to sound authentic, not rehearsed. That dedication reflected her respect for Nigeria's cultural heritage, a trait she has carried through years of international engagements. Her history of immersing herself in host traditions is well documented, from wearing traditional attire in Pakistan and India to observing customs in Commonwealth nations. This time, greeting Tinubu in Yoruba, spoken by over 40 million people and central to Lagos culture, was a deliberate signal. It told Nigeria, the UK doesn't just see you as an ally, we see you as equals. On the other side, President Tinubu's gift carried equally powerful symbolism. The beaded bracelet was not random, it echoed his vision of renewed hope. For Nigeria, since his election in 2023, Tinubu has spearheaded tough reforms, from floating the naira to removing fuel subsidies. Moves that, though controversial, were aimed at stabilizing Africa's largest economy and attracting foreign investment. The bracelet, handmade by Lagos artisans, symbolized more than hospitality. It represented Nigeria's booming creative sector: crafts, fashion, exports that contribute billions to its GDP. Tinubu, known for rewarding excellence, had previously given extraordinary gifts, $100,000 to Nigeria's basketball champions after their 2025 Afrobasket win, and houses for the Super Falcons after their Women's Cup triumph. His choice of a modest bracelet for Catherine was a conscious decision, promoting local craftsmanship and highlighting Nigeria's pride in its cultural economy. Catherine's immediate acceptance, slipping the bracelet onto her wrist with genuine delight, spotlighted a different kind of diplomacy. In a world often obsessed with grandeur, this moment stood as a quiet rebuke to ostentation. Instead of extravagant jewels, she embraced a humble, handmade gift that carried meaning. Not price. And beneath the pomp of diplomacy, a more personal connection unfolded. Behind closed doors, family dynamics shaped conversations. As a devoted mother to George, Charlotte, and Louis, Catherine found common ground with Tinubu in discussions about empowering youth. Tinubu himself had just announced a 30-day National Youth Conference for 2025, aimed at tackling unemployment and innovation challenges. Both leaders saw in the younger generation the hope for a stronger future. Insiders suggest this rapport came from shared parental instincts. Catherine drew parallels to her work with African charities supporting child development, echoing Tinubu's push for youth-centered reforms. But perhaps the most powerful undertone was emotional resilience. Both leaders knew what it meant to face hardship in the public eye. Catherine's health struggles, the 2024 cancer diagnosis, grueling chemotherapy, and her candid admission of the vulnerability that came with it, brought her closer to the people she served. By 2025, even in remission, she spoke openly about the long-term challenges of recovery while gradually resuming her royal duties. Tinubu, too, had faced trials. His economic reforms sparked fierce criticism at home. Inflation soared, insecurity persisted, and opposition voices grew louder. Yet mid-2025 assessments showed signs of progress. UK exports to Nigeria jumped 12.7% in Q1 alone, worth £5.70 billion, proving that tough choices were starting to bear fruit. It was this shared experience of overcoming obstacles, Catherine's health battle and Tinubu's fiscal challenges, that created a unique bond of trust. Both had scars, but both carried resilience, and that made the gala more than a formal event. It became a space of vulnerability, honesty, and renewal. From this bond grew new pledges, deepened security cooperation through the 2025 UK-Nigeria defense dialogue, fresh collaborations on fraud prevention, and expanded joint development programs. In the end, this night proved a vital truth. Diplomacy isn't only written in treaties, it is profoundly human. Scars, whether personal or national, heal through empathy and authentic connections. And sometimes it only takes a Yoruba greeting and a beaded bracelet to mend divides that politics alone cannot. This encounter wasn't about signatures on paper. It was about shaping legacies. Catherine and Tinubu showed the world that monarchy and presidency alike can rise above formality to craft something enduring. A partnership rooted in respect, resilience, and shared humanity. Far from a fleeting spark, that evening ignited a fire reshaping UK-Nigeria relations with momentum that continues to grow. One gala, one phrase, and one bracelet have redefined an entire partnership, promising a future where empathy leads the way. The gala wasn't just a glittering night, it became a turning point for bilateral ties. Economically, its warmth turbocharged already robust frameworks. Trade between the UK and Nigeria, worth billions in 2024, according to official fact sheets, has surged. Recent data from the UK's Department for Business and Trade shows a 15% increase in exports to Nigeria in Q1 2025, particularly in technology and renewable energy. The personal rapport built that night made negotiations easier. Sources within the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office confirmed that Tinubu's delegation even pushed for faster timelines on joint ventures. The proof, a landmark agreement for a new civilian tech hub in Lagos backed by UK investors, was finalized shortly after the visit. Direct evidence that the gala's collaborative spirit had real outcomes. This aligns seamlessly with Tinubu's renewed hope agenda for economic diversification. Spotlighting Nigeria's vast tech potential. Culturally, the impact has been just as profound. Catherine's bracelet, now frequently seen during her public appearances, has become a symbol of cross-cultural unity. Nigerian artisans have reported soaring demand for similar beadwork, boosting local economies and spotlighting Nigeria's creative sector. The British Council has launched Yoruba language workshops in UK schools. Inspired by Catherine's greeting, helping young people embrace cultural understanding. Meanwhile, exchange programs are flourishing. Nigerian artists and students attending UK festivals, while British educators collaborate on STEM initiatives in Nigerian universities. These cultural bridges echo Catherine's passion for education and Tinubu's focus on youth empowerment, creating a shared vision of progress that is both practical and inspiring. Diplomatically, the gala's legacy has strengthened multilateral cooperation. The 2025 UK-Nigeria Security and Defense Dialogue outlined deeper commitments to counterterrorism and maritime security. With expanded joint training programs, climate talks have also accelerated, with both nations aligning on sustainable energy projects that merge Nigeria's oil expertise with the UK's green technology, and social media has not let the moment fade. Hashtags like #UK-Nigeria and #Unity continue trending as citizens share personal stories of collaboration. This isn't just diplomacy's transformation. It's the blending of royal authenticity with Nigeria's vibrant spirit. Together, Catherine and Tinubu have crafted a partnership that feels inclusive, relatable, and forward-looking. They've rejected elitism in favor of impactful, human-centered initiatives, whether in education, technology, or cultural exchange. And that blueprint may well ensure a lasting alliance, proving that sometimes one evening really can pivot nations toward prosperity. As we close this chapter, the significance of Princess Catherine extending her hand to President Tinubu reverberates far beyond that glittering gala. It was not simply a display of royal charm or diplomatic finesse. It was a turning point that redefined how nations connect in an increasingly divided world. Her Yoruba greeting and the acceptance of that humble beaded bracelet were not mere gestures. They were bold statements of respect, unity, and shared vision. They transformed UK-Nigeria dialogue from something formal into something alive. Vibrant partnership rooted in mutual understanding. Think about it. In an era where global relations often feel purely transactional, this encounter showed us that empathy and cultural appreciation can spark meaningful progress. From trade agreements gaining momentum to cultural exchanges flourishing, the ripple effects are undeniable. Posts on X, formerly Twitter, have been buzzing with pride from Nigerians and admiration from Brits. Many have called it a new dawn for bilateral ties. Scholars at the Royal United Services Institute even suggest that this could set a precedent for how soft power reshapes alliances, emphasizing authenticity over rigid protocol. But this story also challenges us to rethink diplomacy itself. Catherine's preparation learning Yoruba to honor Tinubu's heritage was an act of listening, a rarity in high-stakes summits. Tinubu's gifted bracelet, crafted by local artisans, was a leader's way of amplifying his nation's creative heartbeat. Together, They built a narrative that resonates globally, showing that small, intentional acts can bridge continents. And what does this mean for the future? Could this inspire leaders everywhere to lean into cultural gestures, building trust where policies alone fall short? Imagine summits where leaders exchange not just contracts, but symbols of heritage, crafting bridges that outlast their terms in office. The bracelet, now a quiet staple of Catherine's wardrobe, is more than an accessory. It is a reminder that monarchy and presidency alike can choose humanity over hierarchy. So now, I want to hear from you. Do you see this as a genuine turning point for global diplomacy, or just a fleeting spark that needs careful nurturing to sustain its glow? Are you inspired by Catherine's cultural dive, or by Tinubu's heartfelt gesture? And how do you see this shaping UK-Nigeria ties in the years to come? Maybe you even have your own stories of cross-cultural encounters that changed your perspective. Share them with us in the comments. We read every single one, and your voices keep this conversation alive. And before you go, don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with anyone who cares about the future of global diplomacy, and subscribe so you never miss out on these incredible moments of connection. Because if this gala has taught us anything, it's that even in a complex, divided world, sometimes a single smile can change everything.